My baby don't mess around because he loves me so, and this I know for sure. But does he really wanna, but can't stand to see me walk out that door? Don't try to fight the feeling, cause the thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God for mom and dad for sticking two together, cause we don't know how. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah.
Sumer Massey was a walking contradiction, a beautiful, talented woman with a voice that could bring you to tears and a temper that could bring the police to your doorstep. She wasn't just another girl with a TikTok account. She could sing, and her voice had a sultry yet spiritual resonance that made people stop and listen. Whether at weddings or online, she shared her gift with the world.
Give me you. Everything else can wait. Give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. It's me, oh Lord. Yeah, give me you.
But behind that gift was a life of chaos, violence, and bad decisions that ultimately led to her demise. Let's be honest, Massey wasn't just misunderstood or troubled. She was violent. Period. From 2018 to 2023, her rap sheet read like a greatest hits album of bad behavior. It all started in 2018 when she was living in Florida with her boyfriend. That relationship didn't just end, it exploded. When he tried to break up with her, Massey punched him in the face and then swung a box cutter at him, aiming for his forearm. She told the cops it was for self-defense, but let's be real, a breakup isn't a hostage situation. She was charged with domestic aggravated assault, and she didn't stop there. 2 weeks later, she was arrested for larceny in Charlotte, North Carolina. 2 months after that, arrested again for resisting an officer. Between 2018 and 2023, she continued racking up arrests like she was trying to earn a loyalty card at the county jail, but some of those details remain unavailable. What is available, though, is her 2023 rap sheet, which included simple assault, assault and battery, not once, but twice, injury to personal property, and misdemeanor larceny. Massey was a fighter, literally. A short fuse wrapped in a beautiful voice, a woman who could sing at your wedding one day and punch you in the face the next. But here's the thing, her family still had hope. They believed motherhood would change her. When she welcomed her baby girl in 2021, they thought she'd finally slow down, step away from the violence, and turn her life around. But some people don't change. That hope vanished the moment she started dating 53-year-old Stevie Walker, a man old enough to be her father, with a criminal past so deep, it made hers look like a warm-up act. Walker had spent 25 years in prison for separate incidents, including murder. Now, technically, he didn't pull the trigger, which is why he was able to escape the charge. But let's be honest, if you're doing decades in prison for being involved in a murder, you're not exactly an innocent bystander. And despite knowing this, despite the age gap, the criminal history, the obvious danger, Massey chose him. And that choice made her his next victim. But this time, Walker won't be able to escape the charges. The same rage that Sumer once unleashed on others was turned on her, and this time, there was no escaping it. A lifestyle of violence, bad choices, and dangerous men finally caught up to her in the worst way possible. Her story is not just a tragedy, it's a warning. Because no matter how much talent, beauty, or potential someone has, You cannot outrun the consequences of the life you choose to live. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads.
I'm passing the phone. Move, don't try to take my phone. I'm passing the phone to somebody that got pregnant by a nigga they only knew for 6 months. At the end of the day, things happen and, you should mind your business.
Sumer was many things. A mother, a singer, a fighter, a woman who lived life on her own terms, whether those terms made sense or not. In June 2021, she welcomed her beautiful baby girl, who was the spitting image of her. For a brief moment, motherhood softened her. She had something to live for, something to protect, and for a while, it looked like Massey was finally settling down.
You see the horsey thing? You see the horsey?
But peace was never something she knew how to hold on to. Within 2 years, she was back in trouble, back in courtrooms instead of nurseries, and back to her usual brand of reckless behavior. A domestic dispute with her then-boyfriend, who may have also been her child's father, landed her a laundry list of charges: simple assault, assault and battery, injury to personal property, and misdemeanor larceny. But just like every other problem in her life, Sumer laughed it off, partied through it, and kept moving. She brushed off arrests like they were bad dates, shrugged off mugshots like they were yearbook pictures, and kept living fast, thinking she'd never have to pay the price. And for a while, she didn't. She worked, she raised her daughter, and for the first time in a long time, it looked like she was staying out of trouble. But peace never lasts in a life built on bad choices. Enter Stevie Walker, a man who should have never been free. At some point, he and Massey crossed paths, and that was the beginning of the end. Walker wasn't just an older man with baggage. He was a walking time bomb. Half of his life had been spent behind bars, serving 25 years for 2 separate cases, one of them involving murder. Now, to be clear, he didn't pull the trigger, but when you're close enough to a murder to get locked up for decades, you're not exactly an innocent bystander. He got out in 2017, started driving trucks, and for a moment, thought he had turned his life around. He even wrote this alarming confession on Facebook: "Had to turn my life around. Still mean as hell, but I am no longer the bad guy. Feels good to make a paycheck, can sleep better. Sounds like a changed man, right?" Wrong. By 2024, he was dating Sumer, and their relationship was just as violent as both of their pasts. And by the end of the year, she had somehow managed to get arrested again, this time for breaking and entering into someone's home and assaulting them. They fought constantly, and when they weren't fighting, they were barely tolerating each other. Their relationship was built on dysfunction, fueled by toxicity, and bound to end badly. And on March 1st, 2025, it did. It started like so many of their fights before, but this time, there was no coming back from it. Video footage captured Walker pistol whipping Sumer before shooting her in the head on Lucky Penny Street, near a motel in Charlotte. Let's repeat that. He beat her with a gun, then executed her in the street. Massey was rushed to the hospital, but she didn't survive. And what did Walker do? He ran. For over 2 weeks, he dodged police, evaded capture, and tried to avoid the fate he so violently sealed for himself. But he wasn't slick enough. On March 15th, he was caught and arrested for Massey's murder.
A man is in jail accused of killing a woman in West Charlotte. I'm Scott Wickersham.
And I'm Hannah Getz in for Erica Bryant. It's not the first time this man has been charged with murder. He was one of 6 suspects in a case Channel 9 covered in 2003.
According to investigators, that is when the suspect got out of a car which was on I-277, walked up the on-ramp, and then shot and killed the victim.
As you heard our old reporter mention, that shooting happened on an I-277 ramp. Now, 22 years later, the suspect is accused of killing someone near I-85. Channel 9's Joe Bruno is live to take us through the case. Joe?
It was an extremely horrifying crime. This man was bound and duct taped. He was thrown in the back of the car only to manage to escape, but then he was killed in what was described as execution style. Stevie Walker was one of 6 people charged with that murder back in 2003. Now, 22 years later, he's charged with murder once again. Reports say at the time, CMPD had to take out ads on the radio in Mexico to identify Joel Solis Rocio. Coverage at the time said his final moments were spent bound, gagged, and lying on an exit ramp before a man with a bandana shot him with a sawed-off shotgun. CMPD arrested 6 people for the murder. One of them was Stevie Walker. He served 14 years in prison for this case on kidnapping and robbery charges. The murder charge was dropped. Someone else pulled the trigger. But more than 20 years later, CMPD says Walker pulled the trigger and killed 28-year-old Sumer Massey. He's now facing a murder charge again. It happened March 1st at this motel on Lucky Penny Drive. Community activist Tina Quizon was there.
There was bicycles there, and there was children still outside, and the feeling of the community, we don't feel safe.
She says it is sad that more than 20 years later, another family is grieving because of a crime police say Walker was a part of.
Now there's nothing but sadness and fear, not only for her family and all of those that were there, but for the whole community.
The affidavit says Walker and Massey had a relationship, and video footage captured Walker pistol whipping Massey before shooting and killing her. He's being held without bond.
A life that could have been different. Is this tragic? Yes. Is it shocking? No, Sumer lived a life filled with violence, bad choices, and reckless decisions, and yet that doesn't make her death any less painful for the people who loved her. Her family still gathered to honor her, still mourned her loss, still held a funeral fit for a queen. Because no matter how she lived, she was loved. And now, her daughter will grow up without a mother. Her family will carry the weight of her loss. And Stevie will finally rot behind bars, where he should have stayed in the first place. Sumer lived life on her own terms, but those terms cost her everything. May her family and friends find peace in her memory. Rest in peace, Sumer Massey.